Welcome back, strangers. Dave Chappelle recently said that if he says a code word, then they got him, and people should stop listening to anything he says after that. He says his greatest fear is being co-opted, and he doesn't want the same thing to happen to him that's happening to Charlie Kirk now. This really is just an inside joke, because he's already been compromised. He said the phrase that everyone has been saying, and at the same time, this validates all the Charlie Kirk and celebrity swapping and compromising conspiracies all in the same sentence. And Dave himself has had his own celebrity swapping or compromising conspiracy himself. I mean, is he a clone or is he the real Dave? Because after he abruptly left Hollywood and moved to Africa in 2005, many claimed he returned as a different person. While Dave himself has mocked the idea, this theory keeps coming up again and again, and it's all connected to him originally walking away from the $50 million Comedy Central deal at the height of his career. Yet years later, he comes back for this huge payout from Netflix, and he keeps getting paid by them for more and more specials. But at what cost? The money wasn't the reason before, so is this the real Dave Chappelle? Dave Chappelle isn't the first or only example of a celebrity who's abruptly altered their appearance or had unexplained career pivots. There's a growing number of people online who believe that some famous figures are being replaced, cloned, and quietly retired, and their public roles are being handed off to someone else. I love some good schizo talk conspiracies, but this one is becoming more and more mainstream, and it's been happening for decades. Here are some examples that made me stop and think, and maybe they'll make you stop and think. One of the earliest and most famous celebrity replacement theories happened in 1969, when fans claimed that Paul McCartney died in a car crash and was replaced by a look-alike named William Campbell. Supporters point to alleged clues in the Beatles' lyrics, album art like Abbey Road, and changes in Paul's appearance and demeanor. The band repeatedly denied it, but the theory became the blueprint for all replacement conspiracies. Decades later, the internet revived similar claims around Avril Lavigne, suggesting she was replaced by a double after her early career. This theory claims that Avril Lavigne died in the early 2000s and was replaced by a double named Melissa. Believers cite changes in her facial features, handwriting, voice, and musical style. The theory went viral in Brazil and resurfaced years later on TikTok, becoming one of the most popular modern replacement conspiracies. Another popular one is fans claim that Eminem was cloned or replaced following his overdose and hiatus in the mid-2000s. They cite changes in his facial structure, voice, tone, lyrical themes, and personality. The theory, of course, gained traction on TikTok, especially through side-by-side comparisons of early and later performance. I mean, I do think the new Eminem looks different, but he also grew, mature, he's sober now. I think he's healthy, but who knows? What do you think? Aging affects faces and voices. Stress reshapes behavior, and so does substance abuse, plastic surgery, and altering your appearance. Fame itself transforms your identity, and illness and mental illness can possibly destroy it. Maybe that's what happened to Kanye West and Britney. Both were celebrities, both showing clear signs of mental illness and needing help, but they didn't get any, because to stop and help them may stop and slow down the money that's coming in. And there's a lot of people making money getting their paycheck from these brands, from these people. During the height of her conservatorship, some fans believe Britney appearing in public or on social media was actually a double, or even her sister or someone pretending to be her, or even a deep fake online. The theory was fueled by inconsistent posts, bad lighting, unusual differences between posts and her actual behavior. They tried to play it off as stress or just her illness or something was wrong with her, but it was actually her. She just wasn't acting the same. Yet when the conservation ended, she released this huge book deal that made all this money. Then the weird videos kept coming. She kept posting online and her face was glitching and all these things were happening. She was acting strange, crazy, who knows? Was she stimming, spinning, or glitching? No one knows for sure, but those around her would never let her big brand fail. She continues to print money and she keeps putting things out. Just wait if she posted new music. I've heard some things that even like her last album wasn't even her, it was someone faking it. After Kanye West's 2016 hospitalization and public breakdown, fans noted drastic shifts in his behavior, fashion, and beliefs. Some conspiracy theorists argued that he'd been replaced or heavily controlled afterward. More grounded explanations pointed towards mental health struggles, media amplification, the loss of his mother, he was going through grief, he needed help, and he clearly couldn't get it. I think Kanye did need help, or he needed to talk to someone. People weren't there for him. He was too big to fail again. He had the Yeezy brand going, he was printing money, they had to get him a handler, and they had to try to control him, but he was almost too big to be controlled. He kept trying to speak out. He spoke about being replaced. What if he doesn't come back? Was it mental illness or was there some truth to it? Sometimes before celebrities can be replaced or be consumed by their vices or mental struggles, they want to check out and retire, like Dave Chappelle supposedly did to Africa. Or maybe they just want to go home like Agent K says in Men in Black. Rather than a clone theory, Elvis conspiracies focus on the idea that he never died and either lived secretly or used doubles afterwards. Supporters reference the alleged sightings after his death and inconsistencies in his death certificate and his known use of body doubles during his career. Elvis remains the most spotted celebrity after death. Some believe Pastor Bob Joyce, a gospel singer and preacher at the Household of Faith Church in Benton, Arkansas, is really Elvis living out his retirement due to their striking resemblance in voice and appearance. But Joyce has repeatedly denied being Elvis, stating he's just a fan who loves gospel music and that God might be using his voice for ministry. Others believe Tupac also faked his death and lives in hiding or was replaced. My personal out there conspiracy is that Tupac was a CIA or other government agency asset. An early video of him as a drama school kid shows he's the opposite of a thug in his mannerisms, voice, and dress. His whole demeanor is different. He was poetic, sensitive, and articulate and thoughtful. So does that mean his entire rapper persona was just an act that he created and was not the real him? Was he still just a drama kid playing a part until it was time for that persona to come to an end, to retire, to finally exit stage left? Maybe we'll never know for sure. Let's end on some more recent ones. After a sudden 2023 medical emergency, online theorists claim that Jamie Foxx was replaced due to changes in his demeanor and appearance. See, it's something always about his demeanor and appearance. It's like they lobotomize them or castrate them. Side-by-side before and after clips fueled the speculation, and Foxx had to publicly address it during his recovery when he reappeared on the public scene. Side-by-side comparisons of before and after really fueled the speculation that he was replaced, and Foxx even had to publicly address this during his recovery. This case highlights how illness, recovery, and reduced public appearance often spark replacement rumors, especially when transparency is limited. I didn't even know Jamie Foxx was still relevant. The last thing I'd heard from him was his Joe Rogan appearance, which was good, but I didn't know he was worthy of being cloned or replaced. I didn't know he even had much of an influence anymore. One of the newest names that gets pulled into the whole celebrity replacement conversation is Jelly Roll, not because of recent disappearances or scandal, even though he kind of did disappear for a little bit, but because of his dramatic physical and personal transformation that happened in the past year. He lost a significant amount of weight. He appears noticeably healthier and different, says it's all about sobriety and fitness and his long-term survival now, but side-by-side images have gone viral showing about like a change a little bit in his tattoos, his physique, his posture. I mean, even his energy almost and confidence seems different, and not in a good way. It's almost, again, like he was lobotomized or castrated. Who knows? It was such a dramatic change that it did leave many questioning if this was the real Jelly Roll or if he had been rebranded or swapped out. Maybe the music industry had to retire the old Jelly Roll and bring in someone more marketable and rolled out a new one, which makes you wonder, what is the real tipping point for when someone is replaceable? Is it when their personal brand gets too big and too marketable to let go, and instead they're swapped out with actors, clones, replacements, or even replicants? You know, I don't believe this conspiracy 100%, but there are too many instances that make me question it, and that's not counting for body doubles for politicians that are out in the open now. Anything is possible. Even now we see Pete Davidson and others removing their tattoos, but tattoo removal is not that accurate, especially for people who are covered in tattoos. There should be some remnants or some evidence of it, but yet these people are getting their tattoos permanently removed super quick. Were the tattoos even real in the first place, or are these new fresh clones without the tattoos? This whole thing goes so deep, you don't know when it stops. And I do think that maybe at least one celebrity has had to have been swapped out with a different actor when their personal brand got too big to fail. I'm sure there's even fine print in some of these crazy contracts that people sign in hopes of becoming the next big thing that has some kind of replacement clause. This is the real reason why people use stage names. They own your name and likeness, and it will only get worse with AI and deepfakes. I do think a lot of times the internet and conspiracy theories mistake celebrities naturally aging, bad plastic surgery, different photoshops and constant touch-ups, or CGI in movies make major celebrities look different online than when we see them in more natural settings or out in public when they're not being touched up, not looking glamorous. So it gives people a false idea of what they really look like. So it's not really them being replaced. They have an unnatural look to them when they're being displayed in public. One more thing I didn't touch on is, why do so many celebrities look alike? So many look like they could be twins, copies, siblings, but they aren't related. Are they all just being grown in a lab somewhere? You never know. Or is there just a look that casting people are just looking for and copying over and over, and that's why we get so many B-list celebrities that look like they're just copy and paste? Is there something more nefarious behind that? Or is it just a natural look that goes with trends here and there and everywhere? Either way, it's a fun rabbit hole to go down on TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube. And of course, I'm always there to go down as many rabbit holes as I can. So follow me on all those social medias, hit the like button, leave me a crazy comment to respond to all the schizo posts, and as always, stay strange.